Hey, it's that March main. Coming to you with a fight breakdown in my World 4 Swarm Disaster Clear. This is not a guide, because a guide would imply normal sane people can build this. No, this is the machinations of a crazy man who clears all the content he can with only March 7th. At the time of recording, I have yet to clear torturous difficulty, but the strategy I will use will be more or less the same as I describe here. So without further ado, there will be timestamps. Let's get started. Immediately you'll notice that Marchie is rocking 1500 attack. That is not enough attack to clear anything World 4 or higher, so we rely on Nihility dots to paper cut our enemies to death. So as you're seeing, the early game strategy is to mitigate damage by shielding, maybe hit them with a couple pot shot arrows to build skill points here and there, but our main goal is to rush our way to 99 suspicion stacks with as many dots as possible. So while past me is doing that, we'll go into what blessings are keeping me alive and well. As you can see, I have all the Nihility blessings. That's very important in our strategy of death by a million dotted paper cuts. However, let me point out some real MVP non-Nihility blessings. Universal Heat Death characteristics is a blessing I personally look for in every run. It gives you 4 stacks of Fighting Spirit every time you get hit or lose HP, with each stack giving 3% attack and defense, with the stacks capping at 35. However, you also lose 4 stacks at the end of each turn. And since March is the only target, getting 35 stacks is dead easy. That's potentially 105 extra attack and defense that only gets better with indicative depth of field, which if enhanced, increase your Fighting Spirit stacks to 45 and reduces damage taken by 1% for each Fighting Spirit stack. These 2 blessings alone make March 7th into March Tank. But the fun doesn't stop there. Of course, any remembrance skill with dissociation is a standout because inflicting 30% of HP percentage damage off an effect is busted. However, it should be noted that triggering dissociation on a solo run is trickier than pulling it off on a team, because the enemy tends to thaw out before I can hit them while frozen to trigger the dissociation effect. Those are the main blessings, with everything else that inflicts or mitigates damage being helpful but not necessary. As seen on the screen, once you're set up, DOT shreds the enemy's HP like butter. It's further supported by the 4-piece Prisoner of Deep Confinement set I'm running, because 18% ignore defense with a 12% attack boost is very much appreciated. Now the finer points of this build are the effect hit rate and the effect resistance I'm running. These 2 stats help facilitate what Nihility DOT March aims to do. Since this is a DOT set, and freeze is technically a 1-turn dot, I made sure that almost every ultimate I'm popping creates my own eternal winter. However, it should be noted that I did not have 112 effect hit rate when I cleared this video, so that's why I'm not freezing every ultimate. Because if I did have 112 effect hit rate, then well, let's do a quick lesson just to illustrate how often I'm power freezing a line of March 8 statues. This is the formula for effect hit rate, this is Jippy, and this is me explaining once and for all why these 2 don't even play in the same league of usefulness. Because a crackdown March laughs in the face of the Silvermane guards. Here's the math. There's a 50% base chance to freeze for March 7th's ultimate. My March 7th is rocking 112 effect hit rate, effectively translating to 1.12 in decimals. A fully complete level 90 simulated Jeopard has an effect resistance of 50% with a debuff resistance against freezing at 75%. Even with all this, March is still freezing him just under 40% of the time every time she pops an ultimate. And that's against Belobog's favorite Ice Backstreet Boy. So against a bunch of bugs that don't have any freeze resistance, we're making them into bugsicles quite often. Now, another aspect that isn't seen in this run is that March is not getting outraged by the Swarm. For those who don't know, outrage is a status debuff that the Swarm can inflict that makes you only able to attack. And that sucks for someone who's soloing with only March 7th because I can't shield off damage when I need to and effectively die. Now if you notice, that has not happened to my March 7th once. This is because I made her immune to status effects with having over 100% effect resistance, effectively dropping the chance of most debuffs to 0. Now the last bit to touch on is speed in the higher stratums. At about difficulty 4 in Torturous, I found that if I don't have speed boots, you just die. You're simply too slow to do anything to your opponents, so even picking up blessings that boost speed go a long way to make runs a bit less sweaty. Though the main thing is having speed boots, because even 125 makes things a lot more comfortable for you. And this is essentially how Nihility DOT March works. I did get lucky and get these debuffs on the swarm before going into the fight, but otherwise I covered all the things I considered essential to my clear, and hopefully to my future torturous clear. I'm that March man. If you're still here, let me know if you like these type of videos by the usual means, and I'll catch you all next time. Enjoy the rest of the video.